My name's Trent Thompson, and I'm the CEO of Swiss Re's Australia and New Zealand business. Each year, Swiss Re publishes a review of natural catastrophe losses for the prior year. What we see in our latest report is that globally, insured losses continued on trend in 2024, amounting to $137 billion, mostly driven by secondary perils like severe convective storms in the US. We also predict that the 5 to 7% annual increase will continue into 2025 as losses approach the $145 billion mark. Already this year, wildfires have raged across California. The Sagaing region of Myanmar was struck by a deadly earthquake, also causing loss of life in Thailand. And closer to home, while downgraded as it made landfall, ex-tropical Cyclone Alfred has already triggered around $2.5 billion Australian dollars in insured losses, based on preliminary figures from perils. But looking back at 2023 to 2024, while Australia and New Zealand may have been spared a large-scale natural catastrophe, a more benign experience does not mean the risk has faded altogether. In fact, more extreme weather events, including storms, heat waves, and localised flooding, are becoming much more normal. Take the heavy rains in New Zealand in early 2023, some of the largest weather-related losses in the country's history. While not large on a global scale, these are meaningful to the local market and significantly impact residents. When you look at this extreme weather, compounded by the catastrophic experience of the past decade or so, it's a clear signal that we need to continue to review our resilience strategies, also reinforcing the need for stronger, smarter, and more collaborative approaches. At the forefront of the discussion in Australia is the affordability and availability of insurance in areas with high exposures. Amidst the discussion is growing recognition that long-term resilience must be built into risk frameworks from the outset, not just bolted on as an afterthought. This requires collective action from the private and public sector. And one example of this is the Hazards Insurance Partnership, of which Swiss Re is a member. This forum has a clear purpose, that is to find ways to lower the risk to society and improve Australia's resilience to natural hazards. While the insurance and reinsurance industry price the risk, there is a need for governments to assist policyholders to manage and reduce risk itself. To do this, a combination of mitigation and adaptation is needed. Some examples of this might include steering communities away from risks by strengthening building codes and better planning for land use, taking into consideration the changing climate over multiple decades, better flood defences and community-wide adaptation efforts, and finally, using tools such as parametric products, public-private partnerships, and alternative risk transfer models to provide more agility and coverage in a changing risk landscape. And while our industry remains well capitalised in the event of a loss, amidst an evolving risk landscape, the industry relies on effective risk diversification and appropriate risk pricing. Unfortunately, extreme weather is only becoming more frequent. And with economic growth, population increase, and urbanisation, including in areas that are more susceptible to severe weather or other perils, exposure values have been on a continual uptrend. So as the risk to communities become far greater, so does the urgency for collective action.